So a change today and the Catholic Church's approach to same-sex couples. The Pope officially approves allowing priests to offer blessings to same-sex couples. Yes, it's a major breakthrough within the Church, but it comes with a caveat. The blessings cannot be granted at the same time as a civil union or in a ritual that even smells like a wedding. So for some Catholics who are LGBTQ, today brings some mixed news. Kent is here now to walk us through this. Hi, Kent.
Hi, Jana. Yeah, in this announcement, the Pope made it clear this morning that people seeking God's love and mercy shouldn't be subject to an exhaustive moral analysis to receive it. But tonight, it's still unclear how many local church leaders will grant such a blessing to a same-sex couple. And because it stops short of recognizing same-sex marriage, it's also unclear who will seek one.
As a legislator who helped lead the charge for the passage of Minnesota's Freedom to Marry Act 10 years ago,
for dignity,
Senator Scott Dibble
vote yes for love.
Knows what progress for same-sex marriage looks like. And as a Catholic who's also a married gay man, he views today's decree by Pope Francis allowing for the blessing of same-sex couples as a complicated milestone.
That's great news. That's a big breakthrough. That is a gigantic advancement. There's no denying that whatsoever. But it's mixed, of course. You know, it is short of recognizing our marriages as fully valid, recognizing the fullness of our humanity as in the image of God.
It is not intended to be a marriage, not intended to look like a marriage.
St. Thomas professor Charles J. Reed Jr. says that distinction may be upsetting to both progressive and conservative Catholics for different reasons, and says that's likely the Pope's point.
This is actually a signal to Europe that maybe the European movement has gone too far too fast. And this is a signal to the United States that maybe the United States should, so to speak, get with the program of Pope Francis.
What does it accomplish, in your view?
Well, it accomplishes what a blessing should accomplish. It is a prayer to God to bring a positive outcome on two persons who are seeking divine favor for the joint venture they've undertaken. My hope is that this is received by everyone in the Catholic Church and people outside the Catholic Church as a genuine gesture of charity and love. This is the Christmas season. This is a period of love. I think it's a very, very welcome development.
Senator Dibble says it is a welcome development for he and his husband. But as someone who left the church himself for a time, he understands it might not be enough for others.
People still carry a lot of pain. I still carry a lot of pain from how I felt about the church and how it discussed me and regarded me and my husband for a long, long time. But I have to say, the church has never been the Pope, the cardinals, the bishops, the priests. The church really always has been the people of the church, and that's certainly true in my congregation. That is the true church.
I know this just happened, but do you think you'll seek a blessing?
I do, yeah, I think so. I know that they've gotten a number of phone calls today for people seeking blessings. My idea was to have a big community event with, a number of couples who maybe don't want to individualize their blessings, not because we're looking for some sort of validation from the Pope or the bishops or anything like that, but just as a way to step forward in a public way in the context of our faith community to have that celebration and that ritual. It's not marriage, and we need to remember that, but it still is a positive and a good thing, and it'll be really nice.
Now, I mentioned that it's unclear how local church leaders will respond. When we called a few churches today, they directed us to the Archdiocese of St. Paul in Minneapolis. I'm told that they are working on a formal response, Jana, but at this point, we have not received anything.
Right, and as you just said, the expectation shouldn't be for every same-sex couple who is Catholic that every church is going to honor this. They can decide for themselves, right?
Yeah, that's what Charles has told me today as well, is that priests and churches have always had latitude on whether or not to grant certain blessings and those types of things. And this is one of those cases where he expects fully that some churches, some priests will not.
And that some will.
And that some will, yes.
Thanks so much, Kent. We appreciate it.